The door creaked open just a crack, and there it was. My best friend Mark locked in a passionate kiss with another guy in our shared apartment living room. My heart slammed against my ribs like a freight train, the grocery bags slipping from my hands and crashing to the floor. Mark jerked back, his face draining of color, while the stranger, a tall, dark-haired man I'd never seen, stumbled away, muttering excuses as he grabbed his jacket and bolted out the back door. I stood frozen, the air thick with unspoken words. Mark and I had been inseparable since freshman year at NYU, roommates for 3 years now in this cramped Brooklyn walk-up. We'd shared everything. Late-night study sessions, bad breakups with girls, dreams of making it big in the city. But this was a secret he'd buried deep, and now it was exploding in my face. "Ethan," he stammered, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. And in that moment, I felt a confusing rush. Not just shock, but something deeper, like a mirror cracking to reveal my own hidden reflections. I turned and walked out, the cool evening air hitting me like a slap. My mind raced as I wandered the streets, replaying every moment with Mark. The way he'd laugh at my jokes a little too long, the lingering hugs after a tough day, the times he'd bail on dates with women without explanation. Was I blind? Or worse, was I ignoring signs because they echoed something in me? My family back in conservative suburban Chicago would lose their minds if they knew. Dad, a strict Lutheran pastor, preached about traditional values every Sunday. Mom organized church bake sales and prayed for my future wife. Coming out wasn't an option. It was a one-way ticket to disownment. By the time I looped back to the apartment, Mark was pacing the living room, his eyes red-rimmed. "We need to talk," he said, collapsing onto the couch. I nodded, sitting across from him, the space between us feeling like a chasm. He spilled it all. The guy was Alex, a coworker from his graphic design firm. They'd been seeing each other for months, sneaking around because Mark wasn't ready to face the world, or his own family. His parents were even more rigid than mine. His dad was a retired military man who viewed anything non-straight as weakness. "I didn't want to drag you into this," Mark confessed, his voice cracking. "But now, what are you gonna do?" I didn't know. Part of me wanted to bolt, to pretend I hadn't seen anything. But another part, buried under layers of denial, stirred. I'd had crushes on guys before, fleeting thoughts I'd shoved away with football games and forced dates. Seeing Mark so vulnerable cracked that facade. "I won't tell anyone," I promised. But even as the words left my mouth, I felt the weight of the lie. Keeping his secret meant confronting my own, and the thought terrified me. The next few days were a minefield. At work, I was interning at a marketing agency. My focus shattered. I'd stare at my computer screen, replaying the kiss, feeling a mix of jealousy and fear. Jealousy? Where did that come from? Mark acted normal around me, but tension simmered. One evening, as we ate takeout pizza, he broached it again. "You okay with this?" he asked tentatively. I nodded, but my stomach twisted. "Yeah, man. Your life." But it wasn't just his life anymore. It had invaded mine. Then came the first real test. Sarah, our mutual friend from college, invited us to a party. She was clueless, flirting with Mark as usual. I watched him deflect her advances, his eyes flicking to me with guilt. Later, in the kitchen, she cornered me. "What's up with Mark? He's been weird." I shrugged it off, but the lie burned. How long could I keep this up? That night, alone in my room, I Googled, "Am I gay?" The results flooded in, forums filled with stories like mine. Confusion, fear, eventual acceptance. But acceptance felt impossible with my family's shadow looming. Mark's relationship with Alex heated up, and I became the unwilling confidant. He'd vent about hiding from coworkers, the stress of double lives. "It's exhausting," he admitted one night over beers. "But Alex makes it worth it." His words stung, awakening feelings I'd suppressed. Was I falling for my best friend? The idea was absurd, dangerous. If I acted on it, I'd risk everything. Our friendship, my family, my sense of self. The pressure built when Mark's parents announced a surprise visit. Panic set in. I can't let them find out, he fretted, hiding any trace of Alex. I helped, stashing photos and men's cologne that wasn't mine. But as we cleaned, our hands brushed, and electricity shot through me. He noticed, pulling back. Ethan? I mumbled an excuse and fled to my room, heart pounding. That night, I dreamed of kissing him, waking in a sweat. This was spiraling. The visit was a disaster waiting to happen. Mark's dad, Colonel Hargrove, grilled us about our lives, his eyes sharp as knives. You boys settling down with nice girls yet? He boomed. Mark laughed it off, but I saw the strain. Dinner was tense, with talk of politics and family values. When they left, Mark collapsed in relief. Thanks for covering, he said, but I couldn't hold back anymore. Mark, I think, I might be like you. The words hung in the air, a confession that changed everything. He stared, then hugged me fiercely. We'll figure it out together. But figuring it out meant facing demons. My own parents called that week, pressuring me to come home for a family event. Bring a date, Mom chirped. The idea made me nauseous. How could I fake it now? As weeks passed, my feelings for Mark deepened. We'd talk late into the night about our fears, our hopes. One evening, after a particularly raw conversation, he leaned in. Our lips met tentatively, a spark igniting years of unspoken desire. It was gentle, real, but the guilt crashed in immediately. We can't, I whispered, pulling away. What about Alex? Mark's face fell. I ended it. I think I've felt this way about you for a long time. Joy mixed with terror. We were in this together, but the world wasn't ready. Sneaking around our own apartment felt hypocritical. Then the first betrayal hit. Sarah found out, overheard a phone call and confronted me. You're both gay? And together. Her shock turned to hurt. Why hide from me? We swore her to secrecy, but trust fractured. The real storm brewed with families. Mark decided to come out to his parents, inspired by our budding relationship. I can't live a lie anymore, he said. I supported him, but fear gripped me. The call was brutal. His dad's rage echoed through the phone. You're no son of mine. Mark hung up, devastated. I held him as he sobbed, but doubt crept in. Was this worth the pain? My turn loomed. Dad's birthday was approaching, and they expected me home. I have to tell them, I resolved. Mark nodded, but worry etched his face. Be careful. The flight to Chicago was agony. Scenarios playing in my head. At dinner, I dropped the bomb. I'm gay, and I'm with Mark. Silence, then explosion. Dad's face reddened. Not in my house. Mom cried, pleading for me to pray it away. They kicked me out, disowning me on the spot. I returned to New York broken, but Mark was there, our bond stronger. Yet, resentment simmered. Had I rushed because of him? The city felt hostile now, whispers of judgment everywhere. Work suffered. A coworker made a homophobic joke, and I snapped, risking my job. Highs and lows defined us. Stolen moments of happiness. Walks in Central Park, quiet dinners, clashed with reality. Mark's job promotion came with scrutiny. He downplayed us to colleagues. Just roommates, he'd say. It hurt, feeling like a secret again. Then the ultimate test, a family wedding. My cousins, where both our families would attend. We debated going, but decided to face it. Whispers followed us, stares burning. Mark's dad confronted him in the hall. End this abomination, or you're dead to me. Mark stood firm, but the words wounded. Back home, cracks showed. Arguments erupted over hiding versus openness. I'm tired of paying the price, I yelled one night. Mark shot back. You think I aren't? The fight escalated, words like daggers. In anger, he revealed he'd confided in Alex again, seeking advice. Betrayal stabbed deep. How could you? We separated for a week, me crashing with Sarah. Reflection hit hard. Was love worth this destruction? Families torn, friendships strained, selves shattered. Reconciliation came slowly. Mark apologized, explaining his fear. I can't lose you. We recommitted, but wiser, knowing the cost. Yet society pushed back. A hate incident, a slur shouted on the street, shook us. We joined a support group, finding solidarity, but the fight exhausted. As months turned to a year, growth emerged. We built new family with accepting friends. Careers stabilized, though scars remained. The reconciliation with our families wasn't a fairy tale. It was a slow, grinding process filled with more pain than progress. My mom's first call came 3 months after the disownment, her voice trembling over the line. Ethan, I don't understand, but I miss you. I gripped the phone, tears welling, but held back. Mom, this is who I am. She sighed, mentioning Dad's stubbornness, how the church community whispered. Give him time, she pleaded. Time? Felt like a luxury we didn't have. Mark faced similar hurdles. His sister, Emily, secretly messaged him, offering support. Dad's an old fool, she wrote. But Mom's heartbroken. We met her for coffee when she visited New York, a clandestine reunion in a crowded cafe. She hugged us both, whispering, I'm proud of you. But the warmth was bittersweet. It highlighted the void from our parents. Our relationship deepened amid the chaos. We moved to a bigger apartment in Queens, symbolizing a fresh start. Nights were spent cooking together, sharing dreams beyond survival. One day, we'll travel, Mark mused, tracing maps on his tablet. Europe, Asia, places where we could be free. But reality intruded. My internship turned full-time, but office politics loomed. A senior exec made veiled comments about diversity hires, eyeing me suspiciously after I mentioned Mark in passing. Mark's promotion brought its own trials. His firm was progressive on paper, but whispers circulated. Is he, you know? A colleague asked him outright. He deflected, but the stress mounted. One evening, he came home frazzled. I almost quit today. I pulled him close, but doubt nagged. Were we strong enough? Social pressures amplified. Friends drifted. Some couldn't handle the change. Others embraced us, hosting dinners where we felt normal. But outings were minefields. Holding hands in public drew stares, sometimes slurs. Once, in a bar, a drunk guy shoved Mark, yelling obscenities. We left shaken, the incident reporting to police feeling futile. Internal conflicts raged. I questioned my faith, raised in the church now rejecting me. Late nights, I'd scroll through online forums, reading stories of reconciliation or permanent estrangement. Mark dealt with guilt over causing his family's split. If I'd stayed closeted, he'd trail off. I'd reassure him, but the words felt hollow. A turning point came with therapy. We started couples counseling, unpacking layers of trauma. The therapist, a kind woman named Dr. Ruiz, challenged us. What are you willing to sacrifice? For me, it was family ties. For Mark, professional security. Sessions were raw, tears flowing as we confronted resentments. You pushed me to come out too fast, I admitted once. Mark nodded. And you make me feel like I'm not enough sometimes. Growth emerged from the pain. We volunteered at an LGBTQ center, mentoring youth facing similar struggles. Seeing their hope reignited ours. One kid, a 17-year-old named Tyler, reminded me of myself. Confused, scared. How do you deal with parents? He asked. Honestly, I replied, it's a battle, but worth fighting. But battles have casualties. Mark's dad suffered a heart attack, the news hitting like a bomb. Emily called, urging Mark home. He might not make it. Mark hesitated, the years of rejection fresh. What if he dies hating me? I encouraged him to go, flying with him to Texas. The hospital was sterile, tension thick. His mom embraced him, but Dad, weak in bed, turned away. Not now, he muttered. Mark broke down in the hallway. Why can't he accept me? I held him, but anger boiled. How much more could we take? Back in New York, Mark withdrew, depression creeping in. I pushed him to talk, but he snapped. You don't get it. Your parents at least call. The argument escalated, old wounds reopening. Maybe we rushed this, he yelled. I stormed out, wandering Central Park, questioning everything. Was our love a mistake? The city lights blurred through tears. Reconnection came via Emily's intervention. She visited, mediating a family call. Dad, post-recovery, spoke haltingly. I don't approve, but you're my son. It wasn't acceptance, but a crack in the armor. Mom softened too, sending care packages. My family followed suit. Dad emailed. Stiff but sincere. We need to talk. A visit home was arranged, nerves frayed. Over coffee, he admitted fears. I was raised differently. I shared my pain, the loneliness. Tears flowed. No full embrace, but a truce. With families thawing, our bond strengthened. We celebrated our first anniversary quietly, toasting to survival. But society reminded us of fragility. A Supreme Court ruling on LGBTQ rights sparked debates. Friends argued ethics, morality. Is it natural? One asked. We defended, but exhaustion set in. Professional risks peaked when Mark's boss discovered our relationship via social media. Keep it private, he warned. Mark complied, but resentment built. I'm tired of hiding. I felt the same at work, where promotions seemed stalled. A moral dilemma arose when Tyler, the mentee, faced expulsion from home. We offered our couch, becoming surrogate parents. Tested us. Sleepless nights, emotional drain, but solidified our purpose. As winter turned to spring, hope bloomed. Families visited separately, awkward but civil. Dad shook Mark's hand. Mark's mom baked for us. Small wins, hard-earned. Yet questions persisted. Had we chosen love over everything wisely? The costs, emotional scars, lost innocence were steep. But in quiet moments, holding Mark, it felt right. Spring brought renewal but also fresh storms. Our involvement with the LGBTQ Center deepened, turning into a lifeline. We organized events, rallies against discrimination. One protest in Manhattan drew crowds, chants echoing. But counter-protesters hurled insults, a bottle narrowly missing Mark. Adrenaline surged. We linked arms, defiant. This is our fight, he whispered. Back home, bruises from the scuffle healed slower than the fear. Tyler's situation escalated. His parents disowned him fully, leaving him homeless at 18. We took him in permanently, navigating legalities for guardianship. It strained our resources, extra mouth to feed, therapy bills, but enriched us. You guys saved me, he said one night. We smiled, but the responsibility weighed heavy. Were we ready for this pseudo-parenthood? Family dynamics shifted unpredictably. My parents invited us for Thanksgiving, a tentative olive branch. Just come as you are, Mom said. We accepted, nerves jangling on the drive. The table was set traditionally, but tension simmered. Dad avoided eye contact initially, but as turkey was carved, he cleared his throat. Ethan, Mark, welcome. It was stilted, conversations skirting sensitive topics. But no outbursts of victory. Mark's family lagged. His dad remained distant, health issues a barrier. Emily pushed for reconciliation, arranging a video call. Son, I've been thinking, Dad said gruffly. Maybe I was wrong. Tears streamed. Apologies flowed. But trust rebuilt slowly, skepticism lingering. Professionally, cracks widened. My boss passed me over for a project, citing fit. I suspected bias, confronting HR. An investigation ensued, stressful but empowering. Mark faced a client who pulled out after learning of his orientation. Not aligned with our values, they said. He fought back, securing a better contract elsewhere, but the betrayal stung. Our relationship hit turbulence. The added stress from Tyler sparked arguments. We barely have time for us, I complained. Mark agreed, but snapped. He's family now. Resentment brewed. Intimacy waned. One night, after a fight, I confided in Sarah, now a staunch ally. Am I selfish? She shook her head. You're human. A betrayal rocked us. An old friend from college, jealous of our spotlight, outed us on social media. Posts went viral in our small circles, drawing hate mail. Families saw. Dad called furious. "This embarrasses us." We deleted accounts, but damage done. Mark blamed me for trusting the friend. I blamed him for past indiscretions. The fight peaked. Maybe we need space. Space meant Mark crashing with Emily in Boston. Alone with Tyler, reflection hit. I missed him terribly, the apartment echoing emptiness. Tyler noticed. "You love him, huh?" I nodded. "Fight for it." Mark returned after a week, apologetic. "I can't do this without you." We recommitted, setting boundaries. Date nights, open communication. Therapy helped navigate. Society's maw opened wider. A local bill threatened LGBTQ rights. We lobbied, testifying at hearings. "Our love isn't a threat," Mark stated boldly. Media covered it, exposing us further. Support poured in, but so did threats. Anonymous calls, vandalism on our car. Fear gripped, we installed security. Moral quadriceros. Tyler wanted to confront his parents. We advised caution. "What if they change?" he asked. We shared our stories, the mixed outcomes. He went, returning crushed. They rejected him again. Holding him, we questioned, was pushing for family always right? As summer hit, highs balanced lows. We vacationed in Provincetown, a gay haven, feeling free. Laughter, beach walks, rejuvenating. Back home, families progressed. Joint holidays planned, tentative but hopeful. But a crisis loomed. Mark's dad relapsed health-wise, begging him home. "I need to make amends." Mark went, leaving me anxious. Days turned weeks. Calls grew sparse. Doubt crept. Was he reverting under pressure? He returned changed. "Dad accepted us, wants to meet you." Joy surged, but skepticism remained. The meeting in Texas was surreal. Dad hugged Mark, shook my hand. "Takes guts," he said. Tears, laughter, a breakthrough. My family mirrored. Dad attended a PFLAG meeting, surprising us. "Learning," he admitted. Mom baked rainbow cookies, a cheesy but heartfelt gesture. With barriers crumbling, we focused inward. Adopted a dog, symbolizing stability. Careers rebounded. I got promoted. Mark started his own firm. Yet scars reminded. A therapy session unearthed buried pain. Did we lose too much? Dr. Ruiz probed. Answers varied daily. Fall ushered in reflection. The leaves mirroring our evolving lives. With families on mend, we dared dream bigger. Marriage? Kids? Topics once taboo now discussed over coffee. Someday, Mark smiled. But reality checked. Legal protections varied, societal acceptance patchy. Tyler's growth inspired. He enrolled in community college, thriving. "Thanks to you dads," he joked. We beamed, but the term stirred emotions. Were we ready for real parenthood? Fostering discussions ensued, daunting but exciting. Professional triumphs came. My campaign at work won awards, silencing doubters. Mark's firm boomed, attracting diverse clients. But success drew envy. A competitor spread rumors, questioning our lifestyle. We sued for defamation, a grueling process exposing vulnerabilities. Court dates drained, but victory vindicated. Social circles expanded via the center. We hosted support groups, sharing our journey. One couple, mirroring our start, sought advice. How do you survive betrayal? We recounted ours, the friends outing, family rifts. Forgiveness, but boundaries, I said. Personal betrayal resurfaced. Alex, Mark's ex, contacted him. "Miss you," the message read. Mark showed me immediately, but seeds of doubt planted. "Why now?" I demanded. He blocked him, but tension lingered. "Trust me," he pleaded. I did, but fragility showed. Family tests continued. Joint Christmas. Both sets under one roof. Awkward toasts, forced smiles. But breakthroughs, dads bonding over football, moms swapping recipes. No full acceptance, but tolerance. Moral conflicts peaked with a center case. A teen forced into conversion therapy. We rallied against it, exposing the clinic. Media frenzy ensued. We became spokespeople. Threats intensified. A brick through our window. Police involved, but fear persisted. Is this worth it? Mark whispered at night. We pressed on, the cause bigger than us. Tyler testified, his story powerful. The clinic shut down, a win amid losses. As New Year approached, introspection deepened. We renewed vows privately, rings exchanged. Through all, Mark vowed. But a shock hit, my dad's cancer diagnosis. I rushed home, Mark by side. Hospital vigils, emotions raw. Dad confessed regrets. Proud of you, son. Tears healed old wounds. Remission came, strengthening bonds. Mark's family followed. Full embrace. Barbecues calls normalcy. With peace, we reflected on the journey. Shocks, betrayals, awakenings. The new year brought stability, but questions of morality lingered. Had our choices been ethical? Sacrificing family harmony for personal truth, right or selfish? We debated in therapy with friends, finding no easy answers. Tyler's graduation was a milestone. We cheered, proud parents. He moved out, independent but close. You taught me resilience, he said. Careers soared. We co-authored a book on our experiences, inspiring others. Royalties funded scholarships at the center. Families fully integrated. Joint vacations, holidays without tension. Dads golfed together, sharing laughs. Our love matured, weathered but strong. Anniversaries celebrated openly, friends toasting. Yet society evolved slowly. New laws protected, but backlash persisted. We advocated, voices amplified. In quiet moments, we pondered the costs. Pain inflicted, received, but growth outweighed. Was it right to prioritize personal happiness over familial expectations, even if it meant temporary heartbreak for all involved?